This week on Premier Preps, Sutter and Casa Roble decide the GEL title in the regular season finale. First round playoff action is underway. Oak Ridge and McClatchy flag football, and Rio Americano and West Park girls volleyball. Plus, I'm joined by special guest Luke Alexander, QB1 at Grant High School, talking about the Pacers' quest for a Section three-peat. You are watching Premier Preps. Welcome to another episode of Premier Preps. I am your host, Nick Pecoraro. Thank you, as always, for hanging out with us this week and every week right here on YouTube. We've got a great show lined up for you this week. But first, I have a huge announcement to make. Premier Preps is proud to be partnered with Bob Sebring at Premier Championship Rings. Since we're getting into the postseason for fall sports right now, Premier Championship Rings is your go-to spot for custom championship bling, like what you see with these bad boys right here behind me. These are two teams, by the way, Grant and Casa Roble, that are featured on this week's show. That's right, it's ring season. I still got mine from back in the day, folks. These are priceless memories and mementos that you do not want to miss out on. My friend Bob Sebring has been in the business for more than 30 years, customizing rings from the local high school level all the way up to the pros, and his work is second to none. So scan the QR code this championship season or check out their website, Premier Grad Products, which, by the way, is also your home for all your graduation necessities, caps and gowns, announcements, and much more, as well as your custom bling from Premier Championship Rings, the official sponsor of Premier Preps. All right, let's kick things off with the Golden Empire League Championship game between Sutter and Casa Roble. Both teams coming into the regular season finale at 5-0 in league play. Cassa is the reigning D5 section champ, and Sutter, meanwhile, joined the Sac-Joaquin Section just a few years ago after years of success in the northern section. The Huskies looking to leave their paw prints on this season, and they would have to go through the Rams in Orangevale on Friday night. It was a wet one on Friday night in Orangevale, the Golden Empire League Championship game between Casa Roble and Sutter. Here we go. First quarter, the Huskies defense coming out swinging as Mason Cartwright wraps up Cassa QB Aiden Lopez. And the Rams are forced to punt. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, folks. The rain was making it hard for your boy to track some of these plays. Call me Milli Vanilli since I'm blaming it on the rain, but we catch up eventually with Dominic Souza, who takes a 71-yard run to the house, and it's 7-0 Huskies. The Rams respond as Aiden Lopez finds a returning Elijah Huddle. The Sac State commit hasn't played since August with an injury. Welcome back, Mr. Huddle. He can be a difference maker for the Rams in the postseason. But on Friday, one of the big difference makers was Dominic Souza. He takes the sweep to the right for a 24-yard score, and it's 13-7 Huskies. Later in the second quarter, Cassa freshman Dunedin Tupou takes a short run into the end zone for a 13-13 game with 4:30 to go in the half. But Sutter gets one right back before the half, and I can't blame the rain on this one. The Huskies just got me straight up. Marcus Maris all alone in the end zone. Sutter leads 19-13 at the break. Third quarter, Josiah Thompson is good for a 30-yard field goal to make it 22-13. And the Huskies recover a fumble on the ensuing kickoff. Angele Uribe pounces on it inside the Rams' 10. And that sets up quarterback Braden Scritchfield for a 3-yard scoot, and Sutter is in control now, 28-13. But not so fast, says Casa Roble. Final seconds of the third. Aiden Lopez on fourth down with a 31-yard heave to Connor Campbell. The touchdown and two-point try is good, and it's back to a one-score game at 28-21. But the fourth quarter was all Huskies. Marcus Maris runs for 2 scores in the fourth. Sutter wins 42-21 and claims the outright GEL championship.
We're bringing it this year. We're on a mission. That's our slogan this year. I think our offense came out really hot, explosive. Our defense really helped us with getting the ball in a good position. So both sides were balancing each other out, and it was really nice to play like that.
We are officially done with the regular season and playoff football begins this week. So here's who we've got in our Premier Preps Top 10 football rankings at the end of the regular season. The Sac-Joaquin Section postseason is officially upon us for girls flag football. Just the second year of existence for flag football, but man, how the sport has grown. This section went from just under 70 schools and 2 playoff divisions a year ago to 130 schools and now 4 playoff brackets crowning champions this year. This week we go to McClatchy High School, where at 26-1, the Lions drew the top seed in the Division I bracket in their first year as a program. But another first-year program, Oak Ridge of El Dorado Hills, came in hot as the 8th seed, looking to take down the Lions and shake up the D1 bracket on Halloween night. A Division I quarterfinal between 8th-seeded Oak Ridge and top-seeded McClatchy on Halloween. Did the Trojans have something spooky in store for the Lions? Let's find out. First half, McClatchy off to its normal hot start as Daisy Throckmorton finds Rihanna Sharma from 4 yards out for a quick 6-0 McClatchy lead. But Oak Ridge strikes back as Ella Cottrell finds Laurel Smart for a 20-yard hookup. And just like that, we're all tied up at 6 apiece midway through the first. On the Trojans' next drive, Ella Cottrell and Laurel Smart with the tricks and Ava Edwards with the treats. A 22-yard pass on the reverse handoff, and the Trojans lead 13-6. McClatchy's not used to playing from behind much this year, but they've got Daisy Dimes at quarterback, a huge pickup to Rihanna Sharma down inside the Trojan 10, but Oak Ridge pass rusher Annalise Pengel, she says she's a Twix kind of chick on Halloween, and she was taking all the Lions candy on Thursday. I'm a peanut butter Snickers guy myself. Oak Ridge holds a 13-6 lead at the break. Second half, Throckmorton to Savannah Hill into Trojans territory. But a few plays later, Hill is met at the goal line by Annalise Pengel. Hill says she's got the touchdown. Pengel says she's got the flag. Referees get together and call illegal contact on the offense. A crucial call late in the game, but McClatchy has one more chance to score. Throckmorton to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Annika Tanner with the coverage for Oak Ridge, and the Trojans take over with 3.5 to play. Oak Ridge just needs a first down to seal it, and quarterback Ella Cottrell getting it done herself. A 25-yard gain to set up the victory knee, and the 8th-seeded Oak Ridge Trojans knock off the top seed and advance to the section semis.
I think just our determination and drive, us like having a few spells at the very end where it was tight. Red zone defense was like really going hard. I think that's really stood out to me. Like the determination in this team and like how strong everyone is just together is just incredible.
Now's the portion of the show where we take a spin around the section playoff landscape and show you who's still standing in the race for the ring presented by Premier Championship Rings. All kinds of chaos in Division I. 8th-seeded Oak Ridge hosting 12th-seeded Granite Bay on Wednesday, while Del Oro has to get past St. Mary's in order to defend its D1 crown. Last year's D2 champ, Christian Brothers, looks to knock off the top overall team in Ponderosa in the semis, while on the other side, it's the Battle of the Creeks. Wood Creek hosting Bear Creek of Stockton. In D3, Livingston remains unbeaten at 27-0. Lathrop looking to play spoiler, and Del Campo and Rio Linda will be a terrific semifinal matchup. 3 TVL teams remain in D4, Oristimba hosting Houston, and Escalon trying to take down Colfax one of just 3 remaining unbeatens in the section. All semifinal games played Wednesday, and championships are held Saturday at Cosumnes River College. LENIE'S Pictures brings you our flag football big picture top 10 each week, and they also bring you custom team and individual banners, festive yard signs for your senior, and much, much more. Visit LENIE'Spictures.com to order your memorabilia and book your personalized photo shoots. But for now, check out the Flag Football Big Picture Top 10 presented by LENIE'S Pictures. Sac-Joaquin Section football playoffs begin this week, and the Grant Pacers are on a mission for a Section three-peat. And they're looking to get back to the state championship game for the 3rd straight year as well. And one of the dudes that's going to help make that push is quarterback Luke Alexander. A shout out to my friends at West Coast PREPS and Shooting the Straight Sports for hooking up the photos right here. But Luke was cool enough to join me for a chat this week as our Premier Preps special guest. Luke Alexander to Brandon Lambert, who gets his toe down in the back of the end zone. That little piggy's good for 6 points. Grant was nowhere near finished on this night. All right, I'm excited to be joined by our next guest. He is the starting quarterback for one of the most storied and prominent prep football programs in the Sac-Joaquin Section. He helped lead the Grant Pacers to a 2nd straight section championship last year, and they are looking for a three-peat this season. I'm happy to have Luke Alexander as my guest this week. Luke, thank you so much for hanging out on Premier Preps.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. So Luke, tell us a little bit about what the Pacers have done this year. You guys have obviously played a ridiculous preseason schedule, and obviously Grant is never going to back down from any opponent. How have those games against the De La Salles and the Clovis Easts and the Lincolns of San Diego, what have those games done to bring you to where you guys are right now?
Well, first of all, I think those games and us, we don't really duck from any smoke, and I think those games are learning experiences and tests of where we are at as a team. And I think that those games can only make us better. I think that those games kind of bring us together more, and those early season games that are more difficult just set us up for success later in the season, because that's the ultimate goal is later in the season. And our first goal was a league championship, and then a section championship, and then a NorCal, and then state championship, which is what we're going for this year. So we got step 1 out the way, and we're looking for more.
Speaking of state championships, Grant was right there in 2022, won it all. A year before you took over as the starting quarterback for the team, and you guys were 2 points away from going back to back, man. And unfortunately, I know you suffered an injury during that title game that you couldn't return from. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened during that play?
Yeah, well, I think it was about third. It was their 3rd and 8, and it was towards the end of the half, and we were trying to drive down and score and go up by a touchdown there, and I just had rolled out the pocket, rolled to the left, and was trying to get a first down for my team and do as much as I could. And I kind of lowered my shoulder, and then the safety kind of just came straight with his head and just leaned at me and got me right in the chin right there, which kind of it made me knock out. And then I was good. I got up. I was trying to tell all of the people there that I'm all right and I can go back in the game and get me out there. But it's a hard way to learn, but it was a lesson for me to slide and get down and just live to play another down, and something I've learned this season and I've incorporated in my game. So.
Well, obviously you've rebounded from that very nicely this year. How much of that state championship last year and not even getting the chance to finish, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but just not getting the chance to even finish, how much of that has motivated you this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's driven me this year a lot. And and mainly, in the off season and the way that I approach the off season, like, of course, it's my senior year and it's the last year that I can make a legacy about myself and at Grant. I want to make it the most memorable that I can, and because my goal is to go to play Division I football. So like that's driven me a lot throughout this season, and then just motivate me to just work harder, to be better at practice, to be more focused at practice. Because honestly, you never know what's going to be your last snap. And in that state championship game, that never once crossed my mind. But just the reality of that like it's my last year. Like if that happens anytime in this season, like you never know. So treat everything as your last game, and I've been working hard at practice and in the games too.
After winning section championships and going to the state finals in each of the past 2 years, what did that do for you guys coming into this year? Did you feel like there were any extra expectations that were placed on you guys, or are those type of expectations just come with the territory of putting on a Grant uniform?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like they definitely were. There were a lot of expectations for us, just kind of coming off of 2 great years of success. Like even though we didn't win the state championship last year, there's still a lot of great things that came out of that year and a lot of great things that we did. So those expectations are there, but they're also just going to be there with the type of program that we are. We wouldn't want it any other way. We wouldn't want it to not have expectations. Like we know what it is. Teams know who we are. Teams know how we rock. Like it's no unknown thing that we're an elite program.
What does it mean to you personally to play for Grant? I know you originally started at Folsom, right?
Yeah.
But what has it meant to you to be QB1 at Grant?
It's meant a lot to me in not just the team, but like kind of the community that's around me, and like you said earlier, like the story program that it is, and the type of legacy that a lot of guys, Shaq Thompson. I could go on and on and on and on about the success, like even in college, but specifically like in the NFL, like there's been a lot of guys that have had that success, and like it's an honor for me to go there and lead that team and be the quarterback of that team and continue that success. And I think it's been an amazing thing.
Yeah, you mentioned the Thompsons. Obviously, Coach Sid Thompson is one of those guys who played in the NFL, is an alum of Grant. You got Carl Reed, who's an alum of Grant. The co-head coaches, they've done a great job over the years. All these coaches who are incredibly loyal to the G. What are some of the biggest things that they always preach to you guys, whether it's in terms of football or in terms of character building?
In terms of football wise, they always preach that motto that we have there of win the day, and just taking each day one by one, and just winning the day, winning your rep, winning your day in school, doing good in school, just throughout the day, just win the day, and at the end of the day you can look at yourself and say I had a successful day and I gave it all that I could. We also preach family a lot, and like it's a family there, and like throughout the whole team, throughout the coaches, throughout the parents, like we're just a family. Like I got the guys coming over to my house, like for recovery, for swimming, doing all that stuff. Like we all hang out. Like it really is a family there, and I was accepted into the family like my sophomore year when I first transferred there. So like it's been a great thing, and they've been very welcoming to me, and now that I'm the one that welcomes everyone else, I just need to pass that on.
What's your favorite non-football activity to do with your teammates?
I would say when they come over, we play pool basketball, and we play pool basketball, and it can be more like pool wrestling and more like it gets physical and intense, but it's probably the most fun.
All right, so who's got the best pool basketball game out of everybody?
Oh, I think um I think Zoe does. Rosario Edwards, he gets the ball and he's just dunking on everybody. I think I'm the best shooter because I don't get down in the paint with them, but I stay back and just shoot threes.
Well, I wanted to give you this opportunity right here because there's a lot of us media outlets, right, who, including myself, including Premier Preps, that, we have Grant, probably around the 2, 3, 4 spots in our local weekly rankings. And, a lot of people from Pacer Nation tend to disagree with those, and you think you guys should be ranked a little bit higher, and that's okay. But here's, I'm going to give you this sounding board right here, let everybody know on behalf of Pacer Nation why Grant is coming for that number 1 spot as we head towards the postseason.
I mean, me personally, and I think everybody at Grant agrees with me. Like, I think we are the best team in the Sacramento area. I think that the teams that we played have been super difficult, and like we've had the hardest schedule in all of Sacramento, to be honest, in the way of like the big teams that we've had to play. So like, I think sometimes people mistake those losses for just being losses, and I think that they don't realize the pedigree of opponents that we've been playing, and like the teams that we do play in the Sacramento region, like we handle them, and I think we deserve that number 1 spot. And I think and even if we don't have the number 1 spot, I think it's a great way to motivate us to get to that number 1 spot and always have us something to get better, because we always can be better.
All right, man. Well, there you go. You heard it right here. Luke Alexander and the Grant Pacers looking to prove everybody wrong. They're looking to defend their section championships and go for a Sac-Joaquin Section three-peat this year, and also try to handle some unfinished business and get back to the state title game for the 3rd straight year and get over that hump for the 2nd time in 3 years again. Luke, best of luck in your guys' quest for another blue banner. Thank you so much for hanging out on Premier Preps this week, and you're obviously welcome back at any time, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Want to get your student section featured on Premier Preps? All you got to do is tag me on social media, and you can be the next Premier Student Section of the week. Send me a 10 to 15 second clip of your student section to see if we can get you featured on Premier Preps. And this week, since it was Halloween last week, we are going to go with the Minions of Granite Bay High School going bananas for Premier Preps. Congratulations, GB. You are the Premier Student Section of the week. It's officially win or go home time as playoff season is here for girls volleyball. This week, we stopped by Rio Americano for the 8-9 matchup in the D2 bracket. The Raiders taking on West Park, the Metro League champs, who were looking to avenge 2 earlier losses to Rio this year. And spoiler alert, it would take 5 sets to decide on Tuesday night. Rio Americano, a section semifinalist a year ago, looking to get back over the hump. West Park coming off of its first league championship in school history, the 8-9 matchup in the D2 first round. And Rio junior Camden Cowhoff wasn't playing around. She gets things going early for the Raiders. But West Park's Jolene White was not to be played with either. Back and forth we go in the first until Raiders junior Kendall Carey bangs it home. Rio wins set 1 25-23. To set 2 now, Kate Ellis tells Kendall Carey, "Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want. You know I got it." I'm not going to sing Mariah's part, but West Park responds as Jolene White drills one home with one of her team-high 17 kills. The Panthers would finish off set 2 25-23 as Sasha Wanjala goes off the block, and we're all knotted up at 1 game apiece. To set 3 we go. West Park has some terrific young hitters. Claire Goulding is one of them. 11 kills for the freshman on Tuesday. And she's got a freshman buddy in Abby Sutton. That one's too hot to handle. And it's a sophomore, Jolene White, putting away set 3 25-22. And West Park can steal a playoff win on the road. But Rio is not ready to go home just yet. Defense will win you championships, and Daphne Pinnell doing her part for the Raiders. A big block gives Rio some momentum, and then Camden Cowhoff puts a bow on set 4. 22 kills for Cowhoff, and we are going 5, folks. Kate Ellis with one of her 46 assists. This one to Cameron Berry. Rio's got an early advantage in set 5, but Sasha Wanjala's keeping West Park close. It's 14-13 Rio, but West Park goes into the net on match point, and Rio Americano holds on to advance to round 2.
I think we just came together as a team and said we don't want our season to end, and we played hard for our seniors, and we knew that we wanted this game more.
Let's take a look at the remaining Sac-Joaquin Section playoff brackets in the Race for the Ring, presented by Premier Championship Rings. What a Final Four we've got in D1. Rockland hosting Pleasant Grove and Folsom taking on St. Mary's. Could we see a rematch of last year's final between Rockland and St. Mary's? The lowest remaining seed in D2 is Granite Bay. The Grizzlies look to go back-to-back. They'll have to go through Vacaville, while Del Oro challenges Christian Brothers, which was bumped up after winning it all at D3 last year. Ripon Christian has won 4 straight section crowns. They'll travel to top-seeded Vanden. Roseville and Vista del Lago battling on the other side of D3. A great field remains in D4. Liberty Ranch, the only one of the bunch, though, looking for its first section title. Hillmar, Ripon, and Bear River round out the field. Second-seeded Bradshaw Christian looks to defend its D5 crown, hosting Woodland Christian, and Big Valley Christian and Bret Hart battle on the other side. And finally, in D6, top seed Vacaville Christian looks to add to its 3 blue banners. The reigning D6 champ Stone Ridge Christian looks to beat Sac Waldorf to get back to the finals. All championship games will be played this Saturday at Cosumnes River College. Once again, LENIE'S Pictures is the official photography sponsor for Premier PREPS. Hey, we know that the winter sports season is right around the corner, so this is a perfect time to book your team photo packages through LENIE'Spictures.com. Not only do they provide great service, but they will have your school looking fantastic with all of the custom-made team and individual banners that your team may need. Visit LENIE'Spictures.com and don't forget to use the promo code NP7 for $7 photo downloads exclusively through Premier PREPS. Now it's time to take a look at the Premier PREPS Big Picture Top 10 Girls Volleyball Rankings presented by LENIE'S Pictures.
LENI'S Pictures is your go-to site for priceless photos and memorabilia. This local family business has captured great action shots for a decade, but there's so much more to offer with a personalized touch for team and individual photos, game day galleries, banners, yard signs, festive mementos for senior nights, team banquets, or even just to cheer your kid on at their games, all 100% custom made by LENI'S Pictures, any student, any season, any occasion. So make those memories last forever and visit LENIE'Spictures.com and use the promo code NP7 for $7 photo downloads exclusively through Premier PREPS. That's LENIE'Spictures.com, your official photography sponsor for Premier PREPS.
Infinite Performance Physical Therapy brings you our plays of the week every week here on Premier PREPS. Hey, nobody wants to see an athlete go down with an injury, but any way you look at it, injuries are a part of the game. So if you do require rehab from surgery or are just looking for ways to prevent further injury, then you need Dr. Janae Young at Infinite Performance Physical Therapy to have your back. She's got some amazing programs to help you get back on track. Hey, don't forget to send me your plays of the week candidates each week on social media. Just tag me with a short clip. Let me know what's going on with the play, and we'll try to get you on the show. If you've got a top play, we want to highlight you. So here's who we're highlighting this week in our Infinite Performance Plays of the Week. We go to Oak Ridge at McClatchy. The Trojans going trick-or-treating on Halloween. Laurel Smart takes the reverse handoff and hits Ava Edwards, who turns it into a 22-yard score. Trojan defense gets the job done in taking down top-seeded McClatchy. This one sent in from David Crockett on IG. Rio Linda's Deborah Aguirre on the reverse, and on the loose for a 48-yard touchdown run. The Knights have had a fantastic flag football season. They're in the section semis. This one sent in from Colfax High School. The top-seeded Falcons against Mesa Verde. Kaya Diedrichs can do it all. She's at quarterback, but check out the touchdown catch from Sophia Smiley. laying out right at the pylon. Falcons win 44-6. Saw this one on IG and I had to put it in here. First round of the flag football playoffs. Destiny Christian at Liberty Ranch. DCA's down 12-6 in the closing seconds. QB Maddie Woodcock with the dime to Willow Sandry, who reels it in with the good hands to tie the score at 12. And the Lions win it on a 1-point try from Aaliyah Wilcox, an 11 seed taking down a 6. What a finish. That is your Infinite Performance Play of the Week. Thank you once again to my sponsors, LENIE'S Pictures, Infinite Performance Physical Therapy, and of course, the newest sponsor for Premier Preps, Premier Championship Rings, for helping support the show and the coverage of high school sports in the greater Sacramento area. Thank you all for watching. Hey, we're still looking for a winner for our 1-year anniversary giveaway. We're going to extend that contest an extra week, so visit my Instagram page for more details on how you can win a tremendous package from Premier Preps. That's going to do it for episode 11. Next week, we'll have playoff football and championship flag football and girls volleyball. You won't want to miss out on next week's show, so please subscribe here on YouTube and follow along on social media. Premier Preps has got you covered. Until then, I'm Nick Pecoraro. We will see you next week. Night-night.